I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Teeling. We still have a wind chill advisory in effect for parts of our region tonight. Get all the cold details coming up tonight at 10.
And with such cold weather, just being outside can be extremely dangerous. How to stay safe.
Plus, have you been daydreaming today? You're certainly not alone. As the temperature's dropping, the Mega Millions jackpot just keeps going up higher. How high at 10?
This is Fox 23 News at 10. Coverage and convenience. 10 minutes of nonstop news starts now.
A bitter, windy day turns into a dangerously cold night out there. People out working in this weather are forced to take extra steps just to try to keep themselves safe. Imagine fighting a fire in this. We're going to see that in a moment. Good evening to you. I'm John Gray.
And I'm Ann Hughes. First on Fox, our temperatures will be falling below zero once again, putting us very close to a record low.
For a look at what we can expect in the morning, let's head straight over to our Chief Meteorologist, Steve Teeling, with our Fox 23 first forecast. Should have a parka on, Steve.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we all should have a parka on out there tonight, and the boots and the gloves and the hats and the scarves. Remember, don't forget your scarf. We're going to need it tonight into tomorrow morning. Temperatures right now, these are the current temps that we're looking at. 3 above right now in the Capital District, but 3 below as you head on up towards Glens Falls. Whitehall, same temperature. How about Lake Pleasant already 6 below, 3 below in Cobleskill. We're 6 above in Catskill, and Pittsfield coming in with a big goose egg out there tonight, and it's just going to be going down. Now, on top of that, even though the winds aren't as gusty as they were earlier today, we are still seeing wind chills dangerously low. 10 below here in Albany. How about 31 below right now up at Saranac Lake? That is just tremendous, and upper 20s to low 30 wind chills below 0 in northern New England. The winds will slacken off as we head on into the latter part of tonight in morning, but it's still going to be bone-chilling cold. Now, up until 11 o'clock tonight, we still have that wind chill advisory in effect for points generally west and east of the Capital District, as wind chills will continue, believe that, between that 10 to 20 below zero range. And your wake-up forecast, take a look at it, folks. -2 at 5 a.m., 4 below at 7 a.m., certainly very cold, no need to tell you that. And then we'll be 5 above at 9 a.m. under a mostly cloudy sky. Just in case you're wondering, the record low temperature for tomorrow morning is 6 below. We will be very close to that. Of course, Brandon Hertel, meteorologist, tomorrow morning, he'll be in. He'll let you know if we do get close to that record. And of course, I'll have your full forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes, so please stay with us. John and Ann?
All right, thank you, Steve. We can see people on the couch now, blanket on them. You're all comfy at home watching us indoors.
But there are people who just have to be out in this brutally cold weather tonight. And as Fox 23's Jeff Saperstone tells us live in Albany, it can be downright dangerous at times. Jeff?
That's right, Ann. The wind has been a huge factor in making the temperatures feel a lot colder than they are out here. Now, if you're going to be out, if you have to be out, make sure you bundle up. So the groundhog wasn't right. Bitter cold forcing people to bundle up in early March.
In the beginning, it was warm, so we know we had to pay for it somewhere down the line.
Here on Emmett Street in Albany, firefighters fighting not only a fire, but frigid temperatures. Water from hoses and hydrants immediately turned to ice.
We have extreme weather conditions, as you know. They hamper us, they slow us down.
Gear became encrusted in ice. This bus serving as a warming station.
We have a rehab vehicle here, and yes, we're making sure our men are taken care of.
6 families are now homeless from the fire. Red Cross workers finding them a warm place to go. And neighbors were left without power and heat for a few hours.
The water mains are freezing, and nobody has power right now. It's just really bad.
It is a little bit worse than usual, even if you are used to the cold.
Dr. Sarah Vogel, in charge of the emergency room at Albany Memorial Hospital, hasn't seen an uptick in cold-related problems, but cautions people for when they do head outdoors.
Make sure you have warm shoes on, make sure you have a hat on, cover your ears, and definitely wear mittens or gloves to cover your hands.
And layers, lots of layers, and keep moving.
That's advice postal carrier Khalil Dalrymple has to follow on his 6-hour walking route.
Too cold to be delivering mail, but we have to be out here. 72 degrees, so before we put on some shorts.
Now, we're not going to get there just yet, but if you don't have those layers on tonight or tomorrow or maybe the next day, you could have signs of frostbite or even hypothermia. If you do have any of those signs, just head directly to the emergency room or call 911. And back to you.
Jeff, it's time for you to get back inside.
Yes.
Jeff Saperstone live in Albany tonight. Thank you. To national news now, a former White House aide now faces prison time in a CIA leak case.
A jury found Louis Scooter Libby guilty on 4 of the counts that were up against him, 4 out of 5. Libby, who's the former chief of staff of Vice President Dick Cheney, has been convicted now of lying and obstructing an investigation into how the name of a CIA official got leaked to reporters back in 2003. That's her. Libby could get up to 25 years in prison, but is expected to face less time under the federal sentencing guidelines.
The nature of any person telling a lie under oath to a grand jury is a serious problem. Having someone, a high-level official, do that under oath in a national security investigation is something that can never be acceptable. And that just made it mandatory that we pursue it.
He is totally innocent, and that he did not do anything wrong. And we intend to keep fighting to establish his innocence.
Libby's attorneys say that they will seek either a new trial or they will appeal that conviction.
New developments in the investigation into patient care at Walter Reed Army Medical Center. Today, President Bush appointed a bipartisan commission to review procedures and living conditions there. He calls any mistreatment of our soldiers unacceptable.
We have a moral obligation to provide the best possible care and treatment to the men and women who served our country. They deserve it, and they're going to get it.
Also, a Senate Armed Services Committee held a hearing in Washington today to look into reports of problems at the medical center. The senators vow to consider all options to fix the system for caring for wounded troops. Well, in our area, veterans can go to the Stratton VA Medical Center for treatment. It provides different services than Walter Reed, but it really has the same goal, providing the best care possible.
Fox 23's Walt McClure talked to administrators, also some patients at the VA, and they say this hospital in Albany doesn't have the same problems.
At first glance, the more than 50-year-old Stratton VA Center in Albany looks like a throwback to the past, a hulking structure designed as a 1,000-patient bed facility that now only uses about 100. Along the way, Stratton has adapted how it carries out its mission to provide first-class health care to America's war vets, including Vietnam vet Thomas Walker.
The nurses are good. They treat you fair. And they look out for you. Whenever you need something for a nurse, they don't hesitate. They come right to you.
Our veterans deserve the very best care because they've earned it.
Director Mary Ellen Piche says the news about Walter Reed has made them take another look at their facility.
We continue our environmental rounds, take a real close look at every inch of the building. Is it clean? Is it safe? How are we delivering those services? Are we doing the best that we can for veterans?
The Stratton VA Center deals with 32,000 veterans in a 22-county area, and 2 of the vets we spoke with say this place offers care that's second to none. One of them is David Wallingford of the local Marine Corps Coordinating Council. He's been treated there and says the negatives he's heard about the place are few and far between.
I think the veterans community, at least in the capital region that Stratton serves, I think the overall impression is that the service level is excellent.
I'm very pleased with what they're doing to me here. I'm very pleased.
In Albany, Walt McClure, Fox 23 News.
Now, in fairness, Stratton has not been without its problems. Last year, a patient died after an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease, and a former cancer researcher went to jail when a patient's death revealed people were improperly being admitted into a research study. Town board in Boston jumping onto a plan to get this water from a new pipeline.
They voted yes to that contract tonight. Just last week, Saratoga County approved a $67 million plan to build a new water pipeline from Merrill to Malta. Now the town of Boston is signing on, but residents are upset that the town didn't look at other options.
There's no study of the future needs of the water of this community. They didn't even do a study, and yet we're going to be buying this water all of a sudden from there when we have clean water at our fingertips. We're going to get 28 miles of water from a questionable water source.
It's to save money. I mean, we can get a fixed rate through the Saratoga County water solution. That's $2.05 per 1,000 gallons, and that will result in year-one savings of over $143,000. And for a town of our size, that's real money.
Boston currently buys its water from the town of Glenville. Tonight, a representative from Glenville came to the meeting saying they were willing to renegotiate the rate, but Boston board members say that offer came too late.
2 more people have now been arraigned in connection with the illegal steroid ring headed up by the Albany County DA David Soares. Stephen and Karen Lampert of Rockland County accused of submitting prescriptions to a Florida pharmacy for patients that didn't really need them. The drugs totaled more than $50,000. 11 other suspects in this case entered not guilty pleas. That happened at Albany County Court yesterday.
We've heard of deadbeat dads, but in Rensselaer County, it's a mother who's accused of owing nearly $30,000 in back child support. We're told 38-year-old Tina Powers of Berlin was arrested back in 2002 on similar charges. Now, because this is her second offense, the latest charge has been upped to a felony. We have an important warning for parents tonight.
A local scientist says he's discovered very high amounts of lead in some very cheap jewelry our kids may be owning right now. Ward Stone, the wildlife pathologist over with state DEC, began testing on his own some jewelry that was purchased at various dollar stores in the capital region. What he found is startling. Bracelets, earrings, other items just loaded with lead. He showed us the packaging, and there is no warning of any kind on there. Stone is very concerned that the lead, if placed near the mouth of a child, could rub off and harm a kid.
This is not 1907 or 1807. Why are we allowing lead to be all over the country in tens of thousands of places like dollar stores, where anybody can go in and buy it, children go in and buy their own, totally unsuspecting that it's harmful.
Stone is also calling out an agency to go through the stores around the capital region to find the threats posed by these very cheap products. More bad news from Bausch & Lomb for the people who wear contacts.
Why it's recalling one of its contact lens solutions coming up. Also out of a job with little notice. We'll hear from local truckers who want to take their case to court.
And if you haven't purchased a lottery ticket in a while, there's a good reason to tonight. Actually, 370 million reasons why. Mega Mania. That's next.
You're watching Fox 23 News at 10 with John Gray, Ann Hughes, Chief Meteorologist Steve Teeling, and Sports with Rich Becker. You're watching the Capital Region's #1 late local news, Fox 23 News at 10. That's coverage. That's convenience.
We're now less than 1 hour away from tonight's Mega Millions drawing, and that jackpot has people rushing out to get those last-minute tickets.
We both got ours tonight. This evening, $370 million is up for grabs. Fox 23's Kristin Lowman has more now on why this drawing is a little bit different.
The machines are whirling, the money is flying, and the lines are long. Today, these people have 370 million reasons to play the lottery.
Very busy, very busy. We get our usual customers, and then we get a lot of new customers into buying Mega Millions.
In Guilderland, it is Mega Millions frenzy.
The winner's right here, so stop playing, people.
People picking numbers, dropping dollars to get their chance at the big bucks. So what's so special about this jackpot? Well, it's the largest in the Mega Millions game history. And the best part, this week, if you buy 5, you actually get 1 free. The jackpot is the talk of the town today. Some people are playing in an office pool, others for themselves.
I usually don't play, so I think my luck is with me this time around.
And of course, they all have a plan.
Getting married this summer, so that would probably pay for most of it.
I'd be out of here in a New York City minute. Somewhere warm, somewhere comfortable with my family, and just enjoying it.
Help my children, tell my husband to retire.
But with the dreams also comes the reality. These players realize their chance of the big win, 1 in 176 million.
Not great, but as I said, you know, whatever I win, I'll be happy with.
Probably as good as any, right?
Some still keeping the faith, walking out of the store with a ticket, a smile, and a lot of hope. In Guilderland, Kristin Lowman, Fox 23 News.
Now, if Ann and I win, Steve Teeling will be anchoring the news tomorrow night. If no one has the winning ticket sold for the jackpot, it'll roll over again until Friday night's drawing. State lottery officials say that one could be well over $400 million. So we'll see.
You know what's interesting in that story is just that everybody smiles on their faces when they talk about what they would do. You get to dream for a minute.
It's such mad money, too. It's not like a couple million. This is like,
is big money.
Even after taxes, you got a lot of money.
Exactly. So do you wish it stayed brighter out longer in the evening?
Be patient, because daylight savings time is coming several weeks earlier this year. We'll show you why and maybe how you can make the most of it.
And how this cute pooch shows stroke patients how to love life again. That's next.
Brought to you by Raymore and Flanagan Furniture, where selection and prices are always in style. 2 names say it all.
Mounting evidence shows just how important animals can be to people recovering from an injury. Many therapy animals undergo extensive training for the job, but in tonight's Health Alert, we're finding out sometimes it's a skill that comes naturally. Meet everyone's favorite physical therapist. Hans the dog. An accident just more than a year ago left him paralyzed, but don't tell him that.
He'll come up and so you can pet him. He is just the sweetest little dog.
Lynn Mell is recuperating from a stroke, a long process involving painful physical therapy.
Least favorite is this, stretching out. But without it, I can't walk. I can't move.
But Hans helps.
Petting him, they have to really control the movement of their hands. They want to be gentle. They don't want to hurt the dog.
Make sure I don't poke him in the eye.
No, we won't.
You want your cookie?
It makes them really concentrate on their hand movement.
Research shows animal-assisted therapy can reduce heart rate and blood pressure, lessen anxiety during medical procedures, increase long and short-term memory, and motivate patients. But Hans is a special case. Though he's not a certified therapy dog, his disability reminds patients of everything they can do.
Oh, I felt so bad for him. Oh. But he manages, he gets around.
Hans faces obstacles and overcomes them. He depends on a wheelchair and never lets it slow him down.
This dog is running around and it doesn't seem to bother him at all. It actually enhanced his life.
And inspires patients to restart their lives, limbs, and hearts. That's really great. Now, in case you're wondering, Hans injured his back jumping off of a sofa. There are now more than 13,000 officially, formally trained therapy dogs in the U.S. And that's tonight's Health Alert. John?
That is cute. Thanks, Ann. Well, Harry Potter fans, take note. There's a huge news out tonight concerning the actor who plays the title role of Harry and his future in the role. What could it be? The story coming up.
And if you thought last night was terribly cold, well, tonight will be even worse. Steve has weather where you live next.
Weather where you live with Chief Meteorologist Steve Teeling.
A bitter cold night, and I can only imagine a bitter cold morning for those kids walking to school or waiting at the bus stop tomorrow.
It's going to be brutal. I mean, we're going to show this morning's lows, what we experienced this morning, a lot of them well below zero. It's going to be maybe a degree or two worse tomorrow. Now, the only saving grace here is that the winds may not be as bad. Wind chills this morning were 20 to 30, even more below zero. You know, tomorrow morning may only be 5 to 10 below. So it's still bad. It's still brutal out there, but at least it is a little bit, at least going in the right direction, if you will. Here's weather where you live. Our direction right now is going to be on those temperatures that we saw this morning. Low temperatures that occurred at some of our reporting stations around the area. Albany, it was 3 below this morning. North Adams out in western Mass, -4. Glens Falls, -5. Same in Bennington on up in Vermont. Pittsfield, yes, you bottomed out at 7 below zero, and Schenectady. Yeah, I rechecked and double-checked and triple-checked this observation. Yeah, 9 below is what you came in at this morning. Now, currently outside, we're very cold out there. Winds are still brisk at times. 3 degrees, the current air temperature here for us in Albany. Bennington, you're down a degree in just the last 10 minutes or so to 0. Pittsfield, 0. 3 below in Glens Falls, 6 below in Lake Pleasant, and also 6 above in Catskill. But again, temperatures are just going to be dropping. Now, you'll notice that a lot of these winds here that were all across New York State and New England now only seem to be confined over to New England. That's because that departing storm system is moving further away and the winds are slackening west to east across our area. Now, even though we don't have any wind gusts really high out there in Albany, even the sustained wind that's out there at about 14, 15 miles an hour, it's still making it feel like about 10 below zero here in the capital. -3 in Glens Falls, and then you get up into just the remarkable below zero temperatures up in the Saranac Lake. 31 below is what the wind chill is right now. In a matter of 20 minutes or so, you can get frostbite with wind chills of this magnitude. Our wind chill advisory does stay in effect right up until 11 o'clock tonight. By that time, even though wind chills are still going to be below zero, they're not going to be as biting cold as they have been over the last 24 hours. That's why this wind chill advisory will be allowed to expire at 11 o'clock tonight. Now, you'll notice it is fairly clear and quiet and calm and dry here in Albany, but you'll notice a little light snow starting to show up in the extreme western portions of our 4 live Doppler radars. This is in association with that Clipper system that's going to be basically passing off to our south during the day tomorrow. tomorrow, and most, if not all, of the snow will be missing us. You can see it's just trying to get its act together right now. It's moving through Lake Erie, northern portions of Ohio, and eventually on into Pennsylvania. Now, tomorrow's forecast starting at tonight. These are the temperatures that are going to occur just about in an hour or so, but by tomorrow morning, check out some of these low temperatures. As a matter of fact, let's go on up to the north here, and we'll show you. 23 below Indian Lake. That's not a wind chill, folks. That is the actual air temperature. How about that? North Creek at 19 below. Hague, you're going to start off the day 20 below zero. Lake George at 14 below. Gansevoort also at 14 below. So certainly some incredible numbers out there. Now, during the day, you'll notice some clouds increasing, and generally from Albany southward, probably a few flurries and a few snow showers, little if any accumulation. It appears that Clipper will miss us just far enough to our south not to give us any problems. Tomorrow's high, a whopping 19 degrees. There it is, 19 and brisk. On Thursday, a few scattered snow showers and flurries. It'll be windy and cold again with a high of 16. On Friday, we start off the morning 0, but then we approach that 30-degree mark. Into the weekend, we're going to see a couple of scattered rain showers and or snow showers, depending on whether you're here in the Capital District or maybe up in the Adirondacks. That's where you'll see some snow showers here, only a few rain showers as temperatures get in the 40s. So it'll be a slow go, but we'll eventually get there.
Come on, Saturday.
No, we're,
yes. On the bright side, though, I went to the market tonight between the shows. You just leave the stuff in the car because it's frozen, you know.
Yeah, ice cream could stay in there all night. Doesn't matter.
It'd be too cold.
But who's buying ice cream, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, good point.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. If you saw somebody grumpy walking around today, I guarantee they were a Siena fan.
Oh, no. Here is Rich Becker with our first look at sports.
Yeah, guys, not only did Siena lose last night, one of their former stars lost his spot in the NBA's Developmental League. Antoine Jordan, the captain of last year's club, was cut today by Fort Worth. Jordan played 6 games with the Fury. Hey, it didn't take Luke Pettigrew long to find a job. The former Giants first-round pick, now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. The 30-year-old tackle getting a 5-year, $15 million deal with the Bucs. This just 3+ weeks after getting cut by the Giants. The final Section 2 finals send a star out on top. Pictures from the Civic Center at 10:51. Guys?
All right, thanks, Rich. Workers in Selkirk are out of a job, and with little notice, their story's on the way.
Also, get ready to change the clock with daylight savings time coming a little bit early this year. And this guy risks his own life to save man's best friend. We'll show you the dramatic video still ahead.
Now, more local news on Fox 23 News at 10. Coverage and convenience.
Welcome back. Dozens of local truckers are out looking for work tonight after their Selkirk company abruptly closed up shop last week.
Blue Thunder Auto Transport shut down, only giving employees a few days' notice. As Fox 23's Paul Merrill tells us, it's not just the paycheck. Truckers lost all their benefits, too.
This car is likely one of the last that will be hauled out of Selkirk by Blue Thunder Auto Transport.
Well, last Tuesday, another employee called me up and told me that Friday was my last day.
Employees tell us they knew the Atlanta-based corporation was having some money problems, but they were told everything would be fine. So drivers were shocked to learn that the pink slips they fill out when they're hauling automobiles would soon be joined by pink slips of a whole different sort.
Oh yeah, we were all surprised because we were told that the company had filed bankruptcy, but not to worry about anything because, you know, they were just reorganizing.
This January 30th message to employees on the company's website assures workers that Blue Thunder is trying to take care of its financial problems.
And then all of a sudden it was like, boom, you're done.
Employees say that's the last they heard from management. They did hear from the State Department of Labor today. A labor manager came in to help truckers deal with the sudden loss of their jobs and benefits.
What we're basically providing them is information about how we can help them transition back to a new job. So we're basically concentrating on reemployment services, trying to take the negative and turn it into a positive.
But these people are more than just truck drivers. They're members of the community, husbands and fathers.
Yeah, I have three kids.
And the truck drivers tell us that not only have they lost their benefits, but today is payday and no one has seen a penny yet.
My kid was supposed to go to the doctor's last week and I had to cancel it because I know I'm not going to be able to afford it.
The law does require shops the size of Blue Thunder Auto Transport to give workers 60 days notice if they're going to close the place down. As far as we can tell, this did not happen in this case. Department of Labor officials wouldn't go so far as to say the corporation did anything illegal, but they did say they are looking into the matter. Now, employees here tell us they may be filing a class action suit against the company as early as tomorrow morning. In Selkirk, Paul Merrill, Fox 23 News.
And Blue Thunder's president and attorney did not return our calls tonight. A local hospital has received a large donation from a former patient. He left the money in his will. Clayton Dockstader, known as Doc, left a $500,000 annuity to Saratoga Care. That's the company that runs the Saratoga Hospital as well as the Galway Family Health Center, which is where he would go when he needed a doctor.
Yes, he didn't see a doctor very often until recent years, but when he needed medical services, all he had to do was walk over here. It wasn't that far.
Now, in his will, Dockstader also left his house and some property to the Galway Public Library. He lived to be 96 years old.
Good for him. Well, for the second time in less than a year, Bausch & Lomb recalling one of their contact lens solutions. It tops our consumer alert tonight. Multi Plus, that's the name on the label. There it is, Multi Plus. No, that's not it. Being pulled because it contains traces of iron that could discolor the solution and shorten the shelf life. The recall products all carry the expiration date of 2008-03. So 2008-03 on the bottle. So far, no health problems have been reported because of this. It comes less than 10 months after they had problems with another solution that had to be pulled off the shelves. Well, you know, daylight savings time starts 3 weeks earlier this year. And before you ask, that means the clocks go forward an hour. You know, spring forward, fall back. Tonight, a little primer to get yourself ready. Get ready to spring ahead. This year, daylight savings begins on the second Sunday in March. That's several weeks earlier than usual, and it's all because of a recent law passed by Congress.
Congress decided by springing forward a little bit earlier, we'd get daylight earlier, and they'd save energy for both companies and, of course, for consumers.
The early arrival of daylight savings could leave some people out in the dark. Most computer software was programmed to automatically adjust to a daylight savings time that begins the first Sunday in April.
Certainly your PDAs, your home computers, anything that has a clock in it that automatically adjusted itself would be affected by this.
So if you rely on electronic devices to get through your daily routine, you probably have some work to do. Luckily, most problems can be avoided by simply checking with your network operators or device makers, then downloading their updates online.
If the concept of installing updates and going to Microsoft and getting updates is a foreign one or a difficult one, we definitely recommend calling for support. As far as the smaller items, anything that's attached to your computer, those should be updated as well.
Updating your software for daylight savings may be a bright idea, but you're still not out of the dark just yet.
In November, we're back to where we began, because it's changing again.
The only bad thing about it happening in the spring is that you lose that hour of sleep on that Sunday morning, but you do get it back in the fall. That is our consumer alert, and back to you.
Probably feels like time is standing still for one former American Idol contestant, a Golden Globe, an Oscar, and now today, an honor from her hometown. The tribute to this dream girl is coming up.
And there he is. Call it survival of the fittest on American Idol. We'll hear from the judges and the contestants on this make or break round on the show. That's coming up next. This is really kind of the nerve-wracking week on American Idol because the competition is going to narrow it down to just the top 12.
And that means 4 more are going to be sent home. Fox's Anita Vogel tells us what could affect the vote for these remaining contestants.
One of these ladies is going home.
As millions of fans get ready for this year's top 12, the question remains, will the best singers make the cut?
It makes it interesting for the people who watch and for us. I mean, they don't know which way it's going to go when they come in to see those results.
It all works itself out, so it seems. But, you know, the voting for the best singer is not actually happening right at this moment.
As the Sweet 16 have learned in the past 2 weeks, having a great voice isn't always a factor in deciding who stays and who goes.
Never felt quite so sunny, and I keep on knocking.
It's all about performance. If you want to get people to love you who are voting and everything, it can't just be your voice.
People are going to have different favorites of singers and everything, but it's probably going to end up coming down to like personality and just star quality.
A lot of people might have great voices, but you could look over a lot of people too. You have to stand out a little bit.
Simon remains confident the cream will always rise to the top.
Well, none of the front runners are being kicked out, so it's not a problem.
In Hollywood, Anita Vogel, Fox News.
Now, of course, tonight it was the guys.
Yep.
Tomorrow the girls get their chance to perform, and then we'll find out just who those final 12 will be on Thursday nights.
Here's a cool thing. The 2005 Idol winner, Carrie Underwood, is a huge country star now. She'll be returning to the show on Thursday night of this week to perform her latest hit. You can see it all right here on Fox 23.
It's going to be a big show.
Yep.
Well, another honor for a former Idol contestant. Today was Jennifer Hudson Day in her hometown of Chicago. The Academy Award-winning actress came back to the Windy City today and showed off her Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Dreamgirls. The day began at Hudson's old high school, where she had been named the most talented by her classmates. At a school assembly, Hudson told students not to be afraid to dream.
Also, get ready for more of your favorite boy wizard. Daniel Radcliffe, who played Harry Potter in all of the popular movies, has now signed on to star in the final 2 Harry Potter films. Films will be called Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Warner Brothers will release the 5th installment of the popular movie series. That's on July 13th, big summer blockbuster, a week before the next book, The Deathly Hallows, hits bookstands.
A principal at an elementary school takes an interesting approach to getting her students to read.
Even parents are calling the plan kind of ingenious. We'll tell you what these pigs have to do with reading coming up.
And a dog trapped in a frozen pond. We're going to show you the daring attempt to save him. Plus, Steve has weather where you live next.
Wow.
This Fox 23 news segment is brought to you by Raymore and Flanagan Furniture.
Take a look at this amazing rescue in Denver as one man jumps right into the ice to save a black lab that fell into a pond this morning. Rescuers rushed to the scene, and that man suited up in a wetsuit and flippers to go in for the save. Now, as you saw, with each lunge, the ice broke under the man's chest, but there he finally got the dog. His rescue team helped pull them both back to safety. The dog wasn't hurt. He was able to run right back into the arms of his owner. He's probably saying, "I'll never do it again, I promise."
The wagging tail and everything.
Geez.
I like the way the dog, the minute he got clear of the guy, all right, you're on your own.
See you later.
There's my owner. But everybody got out okay.
You know, obviously it's been cold enough for us to have very, very thick ice, but in a couple of weeks we're probably going to be seeing some stories locally about, you know, hopefully nothing tragic, but, you know, the thin ice conditions. So just be aware of the conditions before you head on out there. Now, as I said, it's going to be cold enough to keep this ice very thick over the next several days because we are seeing some bitter Arctic air just settle in on over the region, and we're going to have another reinforcing shot of that come in during the day on Thursday before we finally see a bit of a warm-up on into the weekend. Now, outside right now, in case you missed it earlier, up until 11 o'clock tonight, a wind chill advisory is posted for every single county that you see here in that light blue color, but it will be allowed to expire in just about 15 minutes time. Now the wind chills out there are still pretty biting, 16 below in Albany, but only 3 below in Glens Falls. Not much in the way of wind up there, at least this hour. You get on up to the 20 to 30 below readings as you head up towards northern upstate New York and on into New England, and then further on off to the west where the winds are lighter, you have lesser wind chills out that way. Now it is still holding steady at 3 degrees here in Albany. That is the air temperature right now. 0 Bennington on into the Pittsfield region. North Adams, I'm sure, thrown in there at 0 as well. Head on over into the Catskills around Cobleskill, -3, and Lake Pleasant, yeah, -6 degrees current air temperature. With our 4 live Doppler radars, you can see that we are dry right here in Albany, but further on up to the west, you start to see the first little inklings of this next clipper system headed our way. Now, the main actual low is going to stay far enough to our south, but the northern extent, the northern fringe of this snow shield is going to be very close to us, probably getting on up past northward up Poughkeepsie, and maybe some flurries or a few snow showers just south of Albany. But again, I don't anticipate any accumulation here locally. As you head on into Pennsylvania, New Jersey, parts of New York City may see minor accumulations, and then further south near the Mason-Dixon line, that's where you may see 2 to 4 inches of snow with this next system. But again, it appears that it will be passing too far south of us to give us much in the way of any accumulation here, which is good news. But on the flip side, we're going to be left in the cold air that's on the north side of this storm. So we look at your temperatures and your forecasts and what's going to be headed our way over the course of tonight, and read them and weep. Read these numbers, folks. 20 below in Lake Pleasant. That's not the wind chill, that is the air temperature. 14 below in Glens Falls. Albany, you'll start off the day at 4 below. In Cobleskill at 7 below. As a matter of fact, let's take a closer view on into this region. To Lansing, you will see a 6 below to start off your day. Johnstown at 8 below. Canajoharie at 7 below. I mean, these are just incredible numbers. Summit looks like you're going to start off your morning at 9 below 0. Bern, Rensselaerville, in the single below zeros. And as you head on through the day, hopefully with a few flurries around, you'll eventually reach near 20 in most locations across this area. Now the rest of the region, again from Albany southward, that's the best chance at seeing some flurries, a few snow showers, and maybe even light snow. That the flakes are flying through the air, but they really don't accumulate much as they reach the surface. And then by the end of the day, low 20s down in Catskill, near 20 here in Albany. Now a wider view here shows that's the little clipper. See all this blue, the snow? Look at how that just stays far enough south where we'll probably be on the edge of the clouds and the edge of those flurries, but the accumulating snows will be staying down to our south. So here it is. Numbers tomorrow, 19 the high off a morning low of -4. As we head on through the next few days thereafter, temperatures don't improve all that much, although by Friday we start reaching near 30 degrees. And this is what everybody's waiting for on the weekend. 40 degrees for Saturday, 44 on Sunday. We stay in the 40s into early next week. A couple of rain showers around here or there over the course of the weekend, but certainly some improvement, a little melting. You know, we all kind of just shake that cold off because it looks like it's going to be gone.
Gosh, first we win the $370 million, then the weather gets warmer. The whole week's
Yeah, what time should I come in the anchor tomorrow after you guys win?
About 5, yeah.
Just don't forget us little people, all right?
Okay.
Oh,
Steve. You'll want to give yourself extra time in the morning just to let the car warm up.
Here's Fox 23's Kaitlyn Barto with our Time Saver Traffic Report.
A good Tuesday evening to you. I'm Kaitlyn Barto. There is some construction to talk about on the Northway and on 155. This is on the Northway in the area of exit 5. Crews are doing bridge replacement work there. So what you might find with this is a very single lane closure in either direction on the Northway at exit 5. Southbound, you'll find those crews between 9 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. Northbound, they'll be out there between 7 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. Then on 155, where it crosses underneath the Northway, crews will be working eastbound between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m., closing the right lane. They'll be working westbound between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., also closing the right lane there. I'm Kaitlyn Barto. For all of your Time Saver traffic information, tune into Fox 23 News Daybreak tomorrow morning starting at 5 a.m.
Well, here's a question for you. Would you get up at 3 a.m. to watch a spring training game?
No. We're going to show you exactly the fans who did that, though. Also, Indiana coming back to their second home, the Washington Avenue Armory. Another meeting with those patroons.
Jimmer Fredette signing autographs. I'm Brent Martineau at the Glens Falls Civic Center. Finally, for the super senior, he gets a sectional championship. We'll have the story and hear from him and the rest of the Indians coming up next in sports.
This Fox 23 news segment is brought to you by Mohawk Honda. Voted New York State Broadcaster Association Best Sportscast 2 years in a row. Here's Fox 23 Sports with Rich Becker.
Why is it guys with cool names always become stars in sports?
It is a cool name, too. And it's just, you know, he just had a lot of people in his family named James. So he didn't want to be Jim or Jimmy and get confused with everybody. So he went with Jimmer. Jimmer. Kind of works for him, too. Glens Falls senior Jimmer Fredette has been at the Civic Center with a chance to win a Section 2 title twice. Each time he's left disappointed. Tonight, his third and final try coming against the team that eliminated his team last year. Jimmer ready to make it happen this time around. On the break, well, Averill Park was ready to go too. Adam Haynes says to Jimmer, no. Jimmer says yes, and then takes the case to the fans. Gerard O'Shea on the drive for Averill Park. He's a little strong on the basket. Nice move, but didn't quite get it, but Haynes was there to tip it in. 11 all after the first quarter. Indians changed that in a hurry. Denny Wilhelm off to U Albany for football in the fall. Plays some hoop 2 from the corner for 3, and then back to Jimmer. He's mastered this play. Used it to beat Scotia at Glens Falls earlier this year and gets it again tonight, capping a 17-7 second quarter. Fredette makes the theft off the other way for the dunk. Quite a first half for Glens Falls tonight on their way. Second half, Gerard O'Shea does the same thing. Well, sort of. He makes the steal, takes it in for the dunk. Okay, the layup instead of the dunk. Now we go back the other way. Fredette finds his way to the offensive glass. Can't get the shot because he's kind of boxed in there, so he just passes to Nick Hildreth, who scores 25 points, 6 rebounds for Mr. Fredette tonight. Finally, he's got his Section 2 title as Glens Falls wins it 60-48. Fox 23's Brent Martineau says a pregame visit from a City Rocks teammate got Jimmer's party started.
Last night, Bishop McGinn's Taylor Battle won a sectional championship for the first time. Well, before tonight's game against Averill Park, Glens Falls Jimmer Fredette said, "It's my turn." He told Battle that, and he was right. His first sectional championship as well.
Past 2 years, we've been so close, you know, and I think that brought us together more as a team, you know, and we know that this was our last year, and we had more of a sense of urgency, I think, and we came out, they played extremely hard, we played hard, and we got lucky and won the game.
Every day in practice we had the article from the Post-Star that talked about how we lost last year, and we just had it hung up. We got to touch it every day before practice, and it's just been my reminder, and this feels good to beat the team that beat us last year.
Next up for the top team in the state, they head north to Potsdam. If they can win a couple of games in the regionals, they'll end up right back here at home in the state Final Four with a chance to win it all. At the Glens Falls Civic Center, Brent Martineau, Fox 23 Sports.
All right, thank you, Brent. Schenectady Christian and Argyle going at it in the CCC playoff game. Great start for the Scots. John Little, 3-ball right at the end of the first quarter. Argyle up 8. They went up 12 before the Falcons started to rock. Matt McCarty, the spin, check the angle. The guy apparently knows his geometry. Kiss off the glass for 2, and then Jake Bowman makes his move. A little spin there, back it off, knock it down. It's a jumper for a pair. Falcons 17-2 run to close the half. Think it was an SC kind of night? Check out Jared Kobako. He was under the basket when he laid that in. Schenectady Christian to the regionals with a 21-point victory. So now it's hockey and basketball into regional and Final Four action. We've got you covered on the Fox 23 Times Union High School Sports Show Friday and Saturday after the news at 10. Hey, Mama said knock you out, but come on, ref. Pick on somebody who can fight back, will you? Pats and their old buddies, the Indiana Alley Cats, Jamario Moon to Kareem Reed. The little man hits. He had 31 tonight, game high. Then another Moon assist. This time he'll find Gordon Kleiber in the corner. Kleiber, no problem, strokes the 3 there, and then the Patroons go skyward. Marvin Phillips will be the man. Watch him get up for the alley-oop and the slam. Albany takes out Indiana 125-114. Back-to-back NCAA bids. Albany's got a chance. All it'll take is a win at Vermont in the league title game Saturday. Here's the bad news. The Danes have never won in Burlington. And more bad news, all of UA's ticket allotments, 600, are all gone. Media by the dozens at the Sox-Florida baseball game today, all about Daisuke, the Red Sox hotshot pitcher, making his first start. It was televised live in Japan, a 3 a.m. start. Fans who got up love that. Check out the nice work there by Daisuke, and then the good reaction time as he robs Henley Ramirez. Red Sox won it by 14-6. Daisuke went 3, fanned 3, and gave up a couple of hits.
Very nice.
Very popular in Japan.
I guess so.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Rich. Now, why would a grown woman kiss not 1 but 2 pigs? We're about to find out. Stay right there.